The 5-5 portal just opened, and you have exactly 24 hours to get this right. Listen, this is not a poetic phrase or a gentle invitation. This is a moving force with a closing edge. What lands in you in the next day will either redirect your path or roll back, leaving yesterday's momentum unclaimed. If a smell, a song, a name, or a sudden memory pulled at you recently, that's not coincidence. It's the portal signaling, pay attention. You have until midnight to notice, choose, and claim. That window is everything. Right now, breathe in and feel the fact of this body. The portal is not somewhere out there. It speaks through what returns to you. A childhood tune that caught you by surprise. The face you saw in a crowd and couldn't place. A phrase that looped in your head. Those mini returns are the portals knocking. They're soft evidence. Small openings where the work is already starting. So don't swipe them away. Notice them. Let them be the breadcrumb that tells you something wants to move through you within these 24 hours. There are 3 ways this will look in you, 3 archetypal postures that show up when the portal arrives. Which of these fits you today? The performer, the avoider, or the architect? The performer shows well, charismatic, polished, always ascending in public view. You've learned to make change look like success, so you don't have to admit the cracks. The avoider retreats into spiritual routines, busyness, or pleasant distractions. You say, I'll deal with that later while the memory keeps returning. The architect has been building quietly, often alone, making small, steady choices that no one sees until the foundation is solid. You're not only one of these, you might be a mix. Which word fits closest to what you felt when that old song hit you? Which story did your body tell when that memory came back? If this landed on you, comment your archetype, performer, avoider, or architect. Or tap the like to lock in your attention. Commit to seeing yourself clearly. That small act matters. It's the first audible claim that you are awake to this 24-hour window. Now let's name what the portal is actually doing. People expect fireworks, instant gifts, sudden windfalls. That's not the real fortune here. The true gift of the 5-5 is not an object handed to you. It's a shift in probability, a tilt in direction. Imagine a compass needle that suddenly loosens. The tiniest breath now defines which way it swings. The portal makes that looseness happen. It disturbs autopilot. 5 is the number of disruption. It shakes the system so what has been running on habit, fear, or comfort shows itself. It reveals what you have been carrying and what you have been avoiding. It does not force outcomes. It accelerates what already exists. If your life has been nudging toward risk, this portal speeds that nudge into movement. If you have been consolidating avoidance, this portal speeds up that consolidation into an ending. Amplification, not magic. This is the pattern to hold. Think of the number 5 as the gust that tests all the ropes on a boat. The gust doesn't invent the direction of the boat. It only reveals whether the sails are set to go forward or backward. If your sails are rigged to flee, you will find yourself farther from where you hope to be. If your sails are set toward truth, the gust pushes you into motion. That's why many people feel a sense of loss during this portal. It removes what was propping an identity, a relationship, or a role that no longer suits the life you must live next. That removal can feel like losing everything. It can also feel like finally getting honest enough to move toward what finally matters. So how do you work with this? The portal requires the whole body. This is not a thought-only event. Your nervous system, your hunger, your breathing, the amount of light in your room, the phone in your hand. These are receivers and transmitters right now. If you are sleep-deprived, overstimulated, or pacing through stress, the portal's signal will be noisy and easily dismissed. If you make small, practical choices with your body in the next 24 hours, you increase the chance that this moment lands cleanly. Here are 3 simple, safe, and usable choices to orient your body as a receiver. First, do a short breath anchor. Inhale for 4 counts, exhale for 6, repeat 3 times. Feel the body soften. Second, choose one nourishing meal today that is simple and grounding. Whole food, gentle flavors, something you prepare or choose with intention. Third, remove one overstimulating input for the day. Turn off social media notifications, step away from a newsfeed, or put your phone in another room for a block of time. These are not flashy acts. They are practical clarity makers. Small physical choices create the conditions where the portal's energy can be received instead of being deflected. Listen, the portal will amplify whatever it finds. That's the 55 reversal, an acceleration that picks up your existing trajectory and increases its speed. If you have been building in secret, expect breakthroughs. If you have been clinging to a role that no longer fits, expect closure. If you have been avoiding truth with performance, expect exposure. This is not punishment. Think of it as a necessary compression that saves you from years of slow drift. The portal refuses to carry dead weight forward. It accelerates, and in that acceleration, it reveals what must be released. This is the moral test of these 24 hours. Radical self-honesty. The portal does not demand perfection. It demands reality. It asks you to see where your motivations are coming from. Are you protecting identity, The I am the helper, I am the successful one, I am the peaceful one? Are you tolerating relationships because change is scarier than staying small? Are you making decisions from fear disguised as wisdom? The test is to name without theater what you have been keeping alive because of habit, comfort, or fear. Naming is the act that opens the door. Imagine standing in front of a mirror that shows not only your face, but the supporting cast that has kept that face in place, the stories, the early loyalties, the petty agreements with comfort. The portal throws this mirror at you. You have two choices in response: to turn away and smooth the reflection, or to step closer and give it a name. Give it a name. Say aloud the phrase that nobody has heard: I am carrying wuda mba, because it keeps me safe. Or not as a confession meant to shame, but as a report. A report makes the hidden visible. Once visible, it can be moved. There will be internal resistance. Expect it. Your nervous system will manufacture arguments on behalf of the old patterns. You can't be rid of this responsibility, it will say. You'll lose comfort. Those voices are the old crew trying to keep the ship running as it is. Compassionately thank them for trying to keep you safe, and then ask, is that safety still worth the cost? The portal is going to test your ability to answer that question honestly. That answer will determine whether the 24 hours close with a directional shift or a rollback. Between now and midnight, practice a brief diagnostic. Find a quiet 5 minutes. Put your hand over your heart. Notice the first image or name that arrives without forcing it. Don't argue. Just notice. If it is someone's face, a job, a phrase you keep repeating, write it down in one sentence. I am carrying career. Then add one short line. If I keep carrying this, the likely direction is that second line is your forecast. Don't make it grandiose. Make it practical and honest. You are forecasting what amplification would look like if you do nothing. That alone will change how you respond. The portal also needs an acknowledgement. This is not a ceremony. It's an attestation that you're engaged with the movement happening in you. Before the 24 hours ends, do 3 things to claim the shift. Name the change, declare one boundary or choice, and commit it to paper or voice. Say, I name this. I will no longer carry. Say one concrete boundary. I will step back from that conversation. Or I will end the project I maintain out of obligation. Then write it down or speak it into your phone as a recording and keep it for yourself. This simple sequence, name, declare, record, is the psychological equivalent of closing the door with intention. It marks the transition. Do not confuse this with guaranteed results. A clear name and a declared boundary do not promise external outcomes. They change the internal geometry so that probability shifts. In other words, you increase the likelihood of a new direction, not the certainty of an immediate miracle. That subtle language matters here. The portal favors clarity, not promises. If you are the performer, your test will be to tell the truth without polishing. You will be tempted to make your story shine, to edit out the parts that feel weak. Your preparation might have looked like performance for years. The portal asks, can you let someone see the edges? Can you stop presenting mainly to avoid being seen as vulnerable? Your body will give you feedback when you are performing. A tight throat, the urge to script, the taste of applause you anticipate. Move towards small acts of honest exposure. One real sentence to one trusted person. That's enough to begin. If you are the avoider, your test is to trade busy spirituality for targeted action. You may use good habits as a hedge against doing the hard thing. Rituals soothe avoidance. The portal asks, can you translate devotion into decision? Turn one repeating spiritual habit into a practical choice today. Instead of scrolling through teachings, write the one sentence that says, I will stop carrying Poetringer Gao, and then set a small boundary that is visible and enforceable to you for the next 24 hours. That visible boundary counters the impulse to hide and deflect. If you are the architect, your test is not to prove competence, but to claim the work. You have been building quietly, maybe watching doors open slowly. Now the portal accelerates. You are asked to declare a next step. Make one visible action that connects your private work to public consequence. A simple email, a short message, or a decision to stop doing something that dilutes your focus. These are the architect's currency. Translation into the world matters now because amplification will multiply what is already moving. You might be thinking, what if I can't do this alone in one night? That is valid. The portal does not demand heroism. It asks for ownership. Ownership is different from solving everything. Ownership begins with a one-sentence truth and a one-step commitment. If you cannot finish everything before midnight, commit to one honest act now and schedule a concrete follow-up within the week. The portal responds to that kind of integrity. But there's an effect to beware of, the seductive spiritual bypass. That's when language of growth hides avoidance. I'm evolving becomes cover for not having hard conversations. During the portal, bypass shows up as too much talk, planning, or esoteric framing without tangible change. If you're caught in that loop, ask, where is the evidence of change in my life? Evidence can be small: an overdue message sent, a conversation exited, a toxic input muted. Evidence converts spiritual language into directional movement. Throughout these next 24 hours, pay attention to your sensory state. Notice where your chest tightens, where your jaw clenches, which thoughts recycle. Your body will be the map. When something tightens, stop and breathe. Use the breath anchor again. 4 count in, 6 count out, 3 times. Combine it with naming. Out loud or on paper say, this tightness means I'm defending. The truth behind it is plug. That naming is the key the portal wants to test. Also arrange your environment for reception. Dim harsh lights if you feel overstimulated. Open a window for a few minutes to bring in fresh air when a memory arrives. If you can, move your body in a simple, grounding way. A slow walk, a stretch, or standing with both feet on the ground for 2 minutes. These are not magical. They are practical ways to keep your nervous system available for the shift. If endings arrive in the next day, reframe them as compression that liberates. The portal's acceleration sometimes looks like loss, because what you were asked to release was part of an old story. Loss here is sacred logistics, clearing space so new direction can move in. Grieve is needed, but do not let grief become indefinite postponement. Acknowledgement speeds grief into integration. Name what is ending. Give it a sentence. Then give yourself a small, practical next step that honors the ending and opens the door to what's next. There are also invitations. Opportunities will sometimes show up as an ease, a looseness, or a surprising yes. When that happens, check alignment by asking 2 quick questions. Does this choice require me to be more honest with myself, and does it ask less of me in defending identity? If the answers tend toward more honesty and less performance, move. The portal accelerates favorable trajectories. It will nudge you through openings if you do not balk. We must return to the one unavoidable point: the clock. The 24-hour window is not a metaphor. The portal has an arc and a close. If you feel paralysis, use the time limit as a practical device. Give yourself a micro deadline inside the deadline. 10 minutes to write the one sentence, 5 minutes to breathe and name, and 5 minutes to declare one small boundary. The structure will help prevent the mind from spinning away from action. Now I'll give you a concise 3-step closing exercise that you can complete before midnight to claim the shift. Do it exactly as written. Simple, direct, and embodied. Step 1. Say or write this sentence. I name this. I will no longer carry marks into my next chapter. Be honest and specific. Step 2. State a single boundary or choice that supports that removal. For example, I will not reply to that person this week, or I will stop doing that unpaid work. Make it measurable. Step 3. Anchor it physically by either speaking it into a recording on your phone, writing it on a page, or sending it to one trusted person. That recording or page is your psychological closing seal. Keep it where you will see it. That's your claim. After you do it, hold one clear belief. You are choosing alignment over performance. That belief is practical grit, not mystical bluster. It changes how you show up tomorrow. It does not guarantee the world will instantly rearrange. It alters the probability that your path will bend toward coherence. You might ask, what if you don't claim it before midnight? Then the portal's momentum does not disappear. You still have your life. But the specific acceleration you felt will likely recede and remanifest later under different terms, often requiring harder work to reclaim the same trajectory. In other words, missing the 24-hour claim is not the apocalypse. It is a practical missed opportunity whose cost is time, energy, and sometimes added complication. Use that as fuel, not as shame. As we close, remember this. The portal is not moral. It is mechanistic in its way. It amplifies. Mercy exists in that amplification because it accelerates release, so you do not carry dead patterns longer than necessary. Compassionate urgency is the right stance here. You deserve that shift, but it requires your cooperation. Before we go, stand with me in one final focused invitation. Bring your hand to your heart and breathe 3 slow cycles, longer on the exhale. Then say this to yourself clearly. I claim the change I name today. I will not carry this into my next chapter. If you can, write it down now. If you can speak it into your phone, do that. If you can send it to one person who will hold you accountable, send it. And one last request. Before midnight, take the 3-step closing exercise I gave you. Then come back here and leave one line in the comments. The single thing you refuse to carry forward. One sentence. Honest, clear. That comment is your witness. It helps you anchor the claim, and it helps others see they are not alone in this accelerated hour. We step toward this together, not as people chasing miracles, but as people choosing honesty, using our bodies, and redirecting probability. The 5-5 portal is open. The next 24 hours are the test and the mercy. Claim what is yours to claim. Name it. Declare one boundary. Record it. Walk forward with courage.